So John, anytime we get this point in the year, it's always good to look back, and we've just finished our research, and also we want to make sure that we give some people some recommendations because things have definitely shifted, haven't they?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we see the market's definitely shifted in the last, really, I'd say 45 days or so. We're starting to see a little bit more inventory come online, which is nice, but we are still probably less than half of where we really should be.
Yeah, and everything really is connected. And we say that a lot, but it truly is connected. And so when we put this presentation together for our clients and for anybody that's interested, it's that residential and commercial real estate and investment real estate and business brokerage, everything is connected. And if you study it and see how it's connected, it can help you make effective decisions, because people aren't always going to be making a decision every single day of the week. But to accumulate that knowledge and say, what are my goals and what am I going to do with it? That when you have that knowledge and then it's time to act, then it helps us know what to look for people. And also it helps them get the right deal, whether it's time to sell or buy. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we've got clients now, they've been looking for properties for a long time, and now they can kind of relax a little bit with this oncoming inventory. People aren't panicked anymore trying to find a home. So it's normalizing, I would say.
Right. So I always try to put it in perspective. Anytime before COVID, we'd have 5,600 homes available for sale. And that's just in the residential MLS. And that would be all of the metropolitan area of Charleston. That's way down to Ravenel, all the way up past Ladson. And I think it's important that people understand that, because when you are in a COVID time where you have 1,200 homes, if not less, it is a hyper competitive market. And when the rates were low and the home values were exploding, everything was competitive, and people were saying, okay, when will this end? And I know that we always ask ourselves that question, but now we've gone over 2,400 homes available for sale. Don't get me wrong, it's still very much a seller's market if it's the right home, the right price, what people have been looking for. But we've almost got some inventory feeding in from both sides. And that means the people that were waiting to look and they said, well, we'll put our house on the market as soon as we find something we like, because things were flying off the shelf. We're starting to see that frenzy slow. So people are saying, okay, well, if I am going to move, I better go ahead and get somebody interested in my property and I can navigate that move situation. So inventory's feeding in from people that want to move to people that now say, well, I do want to buy something else, so I better get my inventory out there before I get serious about looking again.
Yeah, and to your point, David, we had clients last week. We had to turn down an offer. People needed to sell their home, but they hadn't even listed their property yet. Yeah. So we had to go with another offer where the people didn't have to sell their home. It was kind of an unfortunate scenario, but that's the case now. You've got to get your house on the market, get it sold, get it under contract, and then you can find your home and make an offer.
Yeah, and you would have probably taken that offer 30 days ago. That sure, that's no problem because everything's going to sell. But it's moving back towards more of a normalized situation. So we recommend, we try to make it very clear that if you've been waiting to sell, you may be missing the window. You do want to sell, and don't have an unrealistic expectation that you're going to have 55 offers. Just have a more realistic expectation, because you don't want to be disappointed. And also the purchasing power of people with interest rates is changing. So your consumers who might have been interested in your house, that very well is shifting too, as those people probably have outdated pre-approval letters. They need to requalify and make sure that they can afford to be looking in certain price ranges. People are trying to figure out where they rank right now. Would you agree?
Oh, and it's really tough because the home prices are still rising, and interest rates are rising. So people are becoming shocked. They can't afford as much because the interest rates are higher, and the prices still go up. So it's tough.
Absolutely. So how does that matriculate over to the commercial world? Where the commercial world, and we wrote about this last year, where we expected the commercial inventory to start to disappear, because as we've had one of the largest migration shifts in the history of America, where people have just said, okay, if I can work remote, that was the first tranche of people that came. I can work remote, I'm getting out of this big city and I want to get into that Charleston lifestyle. And so we saw those people come, get established, get their families in place, figure out where they wanted to live, what they wanted to do. And when they started gobbling up that residential inventory, we knew that commercial inventory was going to absolutely just go crazy, because people came with dreams, ambitions. They might have had a side hustle. They moved from a different market. They say, hey, you know what they need in Charleston is this type of business or that type of business. And we saw it, and it happened. I mean, towards the end of last year, that the commercial market was just as hot as the residential market.
Absolutely. And like you said, I mean, everybody loved working out of the house at first. And then they realized, hey, I got to get out of here. I got to be more productive. I need office space. People starting new businesses. What we saw, the flex space was really hot and continues to be hot.
Yeah.
And anybody that's driven out the I-26 corridor in the last, 6, 8, 12 months sees all of these warehouses that are being built, because this port is driving the economy. Record number of containers coming into the port. They're building cold storage warehouses like crazy right now. So that's hot in the market. We saw it coming, and here we are.
Yep, and the Charleston economy is no longer a tourist economy as it was in days of old. I mean, it very much has a fundamentally sound economy in its own regard. And now with all these new people living here and all these new businesses and ideas, it's becoming a very robust economy. It's very exciting. So what we recommend, and when we talk about commercial, we're not talking about investment real estate. Of course, we believe any owner-occupied piece of commercial real estate is an investment, absolutely is. But we're talking about commercial people that put their small businesses in a piece of property for commercial use. You really need to understand your cost of occupancy right now, especially if you have bank debt on it. It's very important that you know that, and you know all the carry costs. I would be doing a very good job of maintaining these properties and trying to predict your costs over the next 5 years. At a minimum, know when your rate might reset on your commercial loan. And if you need to go to market, say your rate is going to reset in the next 3 to 4 years, I wouldn't be waiting 3 years to try to get it sold. I would be trying to make sure that you understand how your property behaves, how your workers behave, and is there a better fit for you, and can you do something different? Otherwise, if you're going to go to market, please make sure that all of the information is clearly understood, because the buyer coming in, they're going to be just as anxious and nervous about making a decision now with everything that's changed, and they're in that interest rate environment if they're going to be using bank debt. So you've got to have a crystal clear marketing plan if you're going to take it. And sometimes it's worth just sitting down with business owners, which we do all the time, and say, would you like us just to give you an annual review? Let's look at your property and let's really see, how does this fit in with your operating budget? Occupancy cost should be a percentage of your expense category, and most people don't put that into perspective, but we're happy to do that. Now, John, as we move into investments, I mean, cap rates, might as well throw that whole word out the window temporarily as things are repricing. What are your thoughts there?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like you said, you can throw cap rates out the window, because as the interest rates are rising, that's a one-day picture, and things are changing so rapidly that it's shocking people. And to your other point, David, about the commercial side of things, commercial loans are typically 5 to 7 years in length. So if you bought your property 3 years ago, when the rates were at their absolutely rock bottom, in a year or two's time, when things have to reset, unfortunately, I think a lot of people are going to be shocked at their carrying costs just going through the roof. So David and I would love to sit down with anybody that's facing this situation and really get a good look at what your future looks like.
Yeah, you don't have to sell today, but you certainly should be doing some analysis. And if you're going to go buy something, please don't even go look at it until you preliminarily underwrite it. And we have plenty of pro formas that we build for clients all the time. Don't ever fall in love with an investment property, right? Make sure that you know what you have there. And if you're going to invest, you better know what that tenant did during COVID, and also what that tenant does in recessionary times, because the market cycles are disrupted from the traditional textbook real estate cycles. And it's important that you don't overestimate the tenant strength that you have in any property. because we're telling small business owners, hey, don't overestimate your own strength. And going into business brokerage, we have been telling you for a long time that over the next 5 to 7 years, 64 to 71% of all small businesses in America are going to change hands. And this comes for really a big deal reason is the younger generations are walking away from the ideas of owning their parents' business. Maybe they don't want to do that. And they may regret it later when they're looking for the flexibility of being a small business owner, but at the same time, it's happening. And even in our market, these folks that move to Charleston and they have these nice W-2 wages or they could work remotely, they're saying, hey, I want to own a business, or I'd like to buy an operating company, or maybe they've said, maybe I don't want to work for this company anymore and I want to do my own thing. And they need to try to replace that W salary with what a business can produce. So anybody that is thinking of selling their business in the next 5 years, it's really now the time to start cleaning up your financials and making sure that you're cleaning. You have great clean financials. It also makes sense for you to talk about what does an exit strategy look like? Who are your key people that work for you? What is a transition plan? And if it's not going to entail a family member taking over your business, then you've got to get it in great shape so that someone will come in and appreciate the value that you place on it. The sad truth is most small business owners don't even know how to put a value on their business. So we can help you do that as a courtesy. We love to do that. We've built a proprietary valuation tool. We can help you understand, today, as it sits on this day, what is it worth? So you can at least make an effective business decision about the value of your business. And moving on, just to close out, just a couple of exciting things that we have had accomplished in the first part of the year. John, tell them a little bit about what we just finished up with the Soldier and some other cool things going on.
Yeah, so at the beginning of the month, David and I, we hosted our annual Soldier Week for boys at Christ Our King School. We had, David, 30, 40 boys this year and some great youth leaders. And it's a fantastic week, gets us energized, and we love it every year.
Yeah, we do. And we're taking that platform and rolling it under the brokerage. Soldier will continue to do what it's always done, but we're rolling that now to really get inside the schools to do some fundamental leadership and financial aptitude so that people come out into the community and they know how to not only run their households and run the goals and dreams that they have, but they can then turn around and be good stewards in the community, which has been a great thing that John and I have learned, from our parents. So we want to pay that forward there. And then lastly, I'm the broker in charge of the brokerage. I absolutely love developing agents, whether they're residential, commercial, or business brokers. And John is my partner, and we have a great time doing this. We really appreciate the people that work for us, and we're so excited to be attracting more agents. And our business model allows agents to introduce us to other agents, because we find that birds of a feather flock together. So now that we're over 13 agents and they're talking to a few more, we're just looking to anybody out there that knows a wonderful, and they don't even have to be licensed, right? They're aspiring, they're in that licensing process. They want to ask questions about it. We have some interns working with us. We just want to share the vision of the company and the culture of the company, because we really believe that people win here working with us. And we're excited to have more people working with us, John. I mean, we've been having a fun time too.
Oh man, we're having a great time. And yeah, we've got 13 great agents now. And the great thing about the brokerage, David, we say it all the time, but we've got the trifecta. We've got commercial, we've got residential, and we're business brokers as well. So give us a call, give David a call, give me a call. You can reach me at 843-813-1228. I'd love to talk to you about the company, and we're hiring. So come on over.
If I can ever answer any questions for you, you can reach me at 843-364-6720. And thanks for your time. And remember, you win here at the brokerage. Have a great day.